Good morning. This video is for if you are dealing with tight hips. So it's going to focus on this front section of your hips. So let's get going. We're going to warm up with the sun salutation to just get our juices flowing in our bodies. Come to a standing with your feet hip width distance apart, your palms face forward. Make sure your hips are stacked underneath your shoulders and your head is straight. Like you're creating a taut string along your spine. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, dive over towards your toes. Halfway lift monkey, hands on your shins, flat back. Lower to the ground, step back into plank. Hold it here. And then slowly lower down to the ground. Press into your hands for cobra. Tuck your toes, tail to the sky for downward facing dog. Step up to your hands. Halfway lift. Touch your toes. Roll all the way up, hands overhead. And then to heart center. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold and step into plank. Straight through your head and your heels here. Keep your elbows tucked in towards your body. You can slowly lower down. Place your knees down if that's good for you. Rest your forehead and the tops of the feet on the floor for a moment. Tuck your toes. Tail to the sky for downward facing dog. Pedal your legs, bend one knee and then the other. Loosening up the back of our legs. And then step up towards your hands. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. You can hang out here for a moment. Shake your head no and yes. Inhale your arms up. Exhale to center. One last time. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Touch your toes. Step back into plank. Elbows in. You can place your knees down. Lower down to the floor. Press into your hands for cobra. Tuck your toes. Step up. Tail to the sky. Step up to your hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Inhale, arms all the way up overhead. All right, the first pose we're going to do is Warrior One. So come up to the front of your space. Step back with your right foot. Your right foot is at like a 45-degree angle. Your front knee is stacked over your ankle. And then raise your hands straight up to the sky. This should feel sensational on the front part of your body because a lot of times this IT band gets connected and tight, especially if we do a lot of sitting. You can raise your gaze towards the sky if that's comfortable for you. Bring your hands to your hips. You're gonna step up onto the ball of your foot, rotate, bend that back knee, and then you're gonna do a cat kind of bend in your back. So you're gonna tilt your hips forward. Bring your gaze down towards your left knee. You should feel a deeper stretch here. If you'd like, you can bring your hands up. That might deepen the stretch, but it's good to keep your hands on your hips too for balance. Whatever works for you. Breathe into this space. Then rotate your heel back to 45 degrees. Place it down. Keeping your right hand on your hip. We're going to take our left hand up. We're going to bend towards the right. We should feel a nice stretch in our side body here, connecting to our hip. Breathe into this stretch. Inhale back to center, left hand on hip. Let's do it on the right side. Right hand up, bend to the left. You should feel this all the way down to your ankles. At least I do. And then inhale back to center. Now we're going to open up to the side for warrior two. Your back foot is equal and parallel with the back of your mat or space. Front toes still point forward and your arms come straight out from your shoulders. Hips are to the side. You can keep your gaze to the side or you can look out over your front fingertips for warrior two. Now we're going to do a flowing sequence here, linking our breath with our movement. So from warrior two, I'm going to turn to the side. We're going to bring our left hand down, or our right hand down to our right leg. We're going to flip our left palm up, and we're going to inhale as we look up for reverse warrior. Exhale, come back to center. Inhale, bend that front elbow, reach towards your left knee, and then exhale as you reach straight overhead for side angle stretch. You can breathe here. This feels sensational for me, so I like to take a moment and breathe here and get the most from this pose. Inhale, back to warrior two. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle. So you can do this as many times as you'd like. Inhale, exhale, reverse. Inhale, warrior. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, back to center. Bring your feet together at the front of your space. Let's do warrior one, warrior two, and then the sequence on the other side. Step back into warrior one on your left side. So left foot comes back, 45-degree angle. Front knees bent over ankle. Inhale your arms up. You can bring your gaze up as well. Breathe here. You might notice one side is tighter or looser than the other. It's completely normal. Bring your hands to your hips. Come up onto the ball of your back foot. Rotate so your toes are pointed forward. Then bend that knee. Now tilt your hips so you're making a cat type movement. This should feel sensational in this front part. Getting a deeper stretch. You can bring your gaze down to that right knee. Tucking your chin in towards your chest. You can feel it along your back body as well. Straighten that back leg. Bring that heel to 45-degree angle. Place it down. Arms come up one last time. And right hand comes down onto right hip. And we're going to take that side stretch here to the right with your left arm. Feeling that extra stretch along their front body. And then the left hand comes down to the hip, right arm up. Take a nice bend, feeling that stretch. And then come back to center. We're going to turn into warrior two. I'm going to turn to face you. Arms come straight out. Breathe here. You can look straight or you can look over those front fingertips. Imagine how far you've come. You showed up today. The first step. Inhale in warrior two. Exhale, reverse warrior. Left hand comes down, right arm comes straight up, palm up. Inhale, warrior two. Bend that right arm to the knee. Exhale as you stretch, side angle stretch. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reverse. And flow through this sequence as many times as your body is calling for. And when you're ready, join me back to center. All right, so let's do one more sequence of sun salutation, and then we'll go into some of our groundwork. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step back into plank. Elbows in, lower down to the ground. Cobra. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. This is where we're gonna start to do some of our groundwork. Hang out here a moment in downward facing dog. This is a resting pose. Breathing into your body. Your tail is towards the sky. You can pedal your legs here if that's comfortable for you. All right, now we're gonna go into three-legged dog. Bring the tips of your toes together, a little space in between your heels. Rise your right foot straight up with your breath. Exhale, place it down. Rise your left foot straight up into the air, three-legged dog, and then lower it back down. Inhale, right leg straight up. Now bend that knee so it's like a bent legged downward dog. Feeling a nice opening in your right hip space. You can rotate your ankle in circles, giving some space in that area too. Inhale, straighten that knee straight up. Then bring that knee towards your armpit and then across your body, place your ankle down on the floor to come into pigeon pose. Make sure you're adjusting yourself wherever that's comfortable. So maybe your foot is back towards your hip, maybe it's a little bit more parallel. This is what's comfortable for my body today. I'm pretty tight. And the back foot can stay with toes tucked, or you can place your foot flat on the ground. You can stay here, feeling that nice stretch on the outer side of your hip, and then the extended leg on the front part of that hip. You can stay here with your arms extended if that's comfortable for you, or you can come onto your elbows, or even place your elbows straight out and lay your forehead on your hands. You can also use a block or a big pillow if you wanted to rest your forehead. We're just going to hang out here for a couple breaths, feeling the sensations and release of whatever we're storing in our hip today. Breathing into the base of our belly, breathing out, bringing our belly back towards our spine. Breathing in and out. Two more breaths here. And slowly press into your hands, bringing them back to extended. Tuck that back foot toe. And we're going to press straight up into three-legged dog. So press into your hands, press into that back toe, engage those muscles. Three-legged dog, and then place the right foot down. Hang out here in downward dog for a moment. Take your left foot, raise it up towards the sky. Three-legged dog. Place it back down. Right foot all the way towards the sky. Place it back down. Left foot, inhale up. Bend that left knee for bent downward dog. Rotate your ankle around in circles here, creating openness in our hip joint. Now inhale that left leg straight. Bend that knee into your armpit as you move forward, and then place your shin and ankle down on the ground across your body. Nice. Flatten that back foot. Find your comfort here, wherever that is for you. And this side might be very different than the other side. You can stay here with your arms extended, or you can come on down to your elbows. We're gonna hang out here for several breaths. Breathing into the tight spaces with each inhale. With each exhale, letting go of stress, worry, sadness, whatever is storing in your hips today. Just letting it go. It no longer is serving you. Breathe deeply into your belly, filling it all the way to the base. Exhale your belly all the way back towards your spine. Your head and neck are relaxed here. Breathing into the sensation of this pose. Two more breaths here. Slowly press into your hands, tuck that back toe, press into your toe and your hands to come up into three-legged dog. And then step both feet together for downward dog. Step up to your hands, halfway lift. Touch your toes or near the floor for forward fold. Grab your elbows here. Shake your head side to side. Yes or no. And then slowly roll on up one vertebrae at a time. That concludes the sequence part of the practice. Now we're going to go into a hip freeing joint practice, which is pretty short, but I do think it's important that you can do this at any time as well. So you kind of warm up your body, then we can do some joint freeing. So you can take any pose or sequence in today's class, do it all at once or individually, whatever your body is yearning for. So for the hip freeing practice, we're going to come onto our back. And our feet are bent here. Arms are down by our side. And with the hip freeing, or it's like hip joint freeing, it's micro movements to build space within the joints. Your toes are pointed straight ahead of you, and you're in a comfortable bent-legged position. You're going to inhale as you rock your hip pelvis forward. Exhale as you rock it back. So you're pressing the small of your back into the earth as you exhale. Inhale, rock your pelvis forward, trying to touch your tailbone towards the earth. Exhale, press into the earth. Inhale, rock forward. Do that like 5 to 10 times, micro movements here. Whatever feels good for your body. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. Then come back to where you can find center. So you're not all the way forward, you're not all the way pressed in. Find your center where your pelvis is nice and relaxed and flat. Take your right ankle, place it onto your left knee here. You're going to keep your left foot planted into the earth, so your big toe and your heel are staying glued to the earth with this next micro movement. This provides me so much relief. It kind of realigns everything within my hips, as my hips have a tendency to twist. So what you're going to do here is take a deep breath in at neutral. Exhale, slowly tilt towards the left, keeping that big toe and heel connected as you exhale. Inhale back to center. And move slowly here. Exhale out. Inhale to center. Exhale out. Inhale, center. I feel cracking and popping that happens in this pose. Feels so good for me though. Inhale, exhale out towards the left. Engage those inner stomach, abdomen muscles. Exhale, especially to hold you as you twist, and then back to center. Do this anywhere from 10 to 20 times. Whenever you start to feel heat building in your hip. And when you're done with that side, bring your feet together and then walk your feet out so your knees collapse together. Take a deep breath in and just notice the sensations in your hips after one side. Walk your heels back towards center so your knees are bent. Take your left ankle and place it onto your right knee. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, slowly move to the right as your big toe and heel stay planted to the earth. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, out. Inhale, center. Exhale, out. Inhale, center. And just continue to do this moment 10 to 20 times typically, or until you feel warmth building in your hip. Making sure to keep that upper heel flexed. So your foot is flexed. Breathing in and out with your body movements here. And then when you're done with that, bring your knees together. You can stay here for a moment, noticing your hips and how they feel now. And then when you're ready, you can land in Savasana with feet extended out and relaxed. Arms are down by your side. And just breathe until you're ready to close out your practice. Comment, like, or share below how this hip practice has helped you. Leave any questions or comments for me below. Namaste.